No one really cares about your mental health until it turns into anger and frustration. And then suddenly you are a bad person. And then people
In
judge you.
the medical community, there's like this weird thing where if you are a person of a certain age, get you somehow don't deserve the same level of consideration as like other people of a certain age. So I'm in my 30s and I've experienced this personally, that there's this idea that, you know, I don't need the same things. And you never experience it more than when you're in a dialysis center or you're dealing with transplant. I've heard this exact thing over and over again. Oh, well, you're young, so, you can wait. I've literally heard a transplant coordinator say that to me. Multiple coordinators. Oh, well, you're so young. You're young. You can, you got time to wait. And in that statement, you can just hear that there's no sense of urgency with trying to help you, like, live your life because of your age. And I know for a fact that it wouldn't be like that if I was considerably older than how I am now, or if I was considerably younger than I am now. There's all this consideration and reverence when you're like much older, and there's like this sense of urgency when you're much younger. But if you fall within like the middle ground, they don't really have anything for you. Just like the bare minimum of, well, oh, I don't need to check on him. I don't need to ask him how he's doing. It doesn't matter how he feels or how he's doing, or none of that matters, because he's in his 30s. And what gets forgotten a lot of times is that regardless of whether you're in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, 60s on up, we're all here for the same reason. And how somebody should interact with you should be based on how you interact with them. There shouldn't be any exceptions. There shouldn't be any ageism or any of that stuff. If I'm a patient, if I'm giving consideration to you, if I'm being polite to you, then you should reciprocate that back to me. Period. Like, that's it. That's all. And I see a lot of, I've interacted with people like this. Well, he's in his 30s. He's a black guy. Well, you know what that means. So we're just going to put him over here and forget about him for like 4 hours and not ask him any questions or evaluate him in any way. And then when things start going wrong with the treatment, they're like, oh, then they try to force correct by asking you all of this stuff at the last minute when they could have just given you that consideration right from the beginning, so that way they can know what kind of treatment and what kind of patient they have. Like, this is something that I've experienced personally. And it's like, like, whatever. Like, he'll bounce back. He's got his whole life ahead of him. But that is not a determination that they can make. It's not. It's an assumption they're making based off of how you look. How you look and how you feel are two different things. At the end of the day, every single person sitting in one of them chairs in that dialysis unit is a dialysis patient. Every single person on the transplant list is somebody that is in desperate need of a kidney transplant. So if you're going to show consideration to 67-year-old grandma, then you need to extend that level of consideration across the board, regardless of age, regardless of race, regardless of assumptions, regardless of your culture, regardless of interactions that you've had in the past, because we're all there for the same reason. We need help.